Hey, this is Shawn Michaels, and you are listening to Crazy Train Radio.
Cheaper than our producer's underage sister. Edgier than the stuff shown on late-night television. Newer than Kim Kardashian's ex. Live from Orlando, it's Crazy Train Radio.
Hey folks, it's your host, The Croc. These guys got me pumped up, especially the one co-host who I spoke with last week to get this finalized. The Shawn Michaels MacMillan River Adventures, Season 3 on Outdoor Channel. Coming out, Season 3, like I said, Tuesday, July 2nd. Going to be starting up Tuesdays at 11:30 Eastern Time and Saturdays at 7:30. Season 3, like I said, hosted by Keith Mark and WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels. What's going on, guys?
Hello, how y'all doing?
Yeah, great. Thanks for having us.
Hey, no problem. All right, so obviously I was doing a little reading, getting ready for Season 3 here. Going to be a lot of surprises, different hunts. What can you tell us is most important about Season 3?
Well, I mean, I guess for me, I think it's a season for me where I did a ton better than Keith. No, I mean, just kidding. I mean, for me, I mean, there were a lot of firsts for me this season. My first elk. Keith was generous enough to let me go to Colorado and hunt with Weston Clark for my first elk ever, which was a phenomenal experience, and as people will see on the show, pretty emotional for me. I mean, it's elk hunting is tough, and it was a phenomenal thing, and for me also, gosh, I've had more trouble with spring turkey than any guy should probably have, and this year finally turned the corner and went real well. I've been successful in the past, but not as successful as I was this year. It was just a good feeling. I had a really good year, and I think they're going to see a ton of hunting from both Keith and I, and again continued success for us in a lot of different places. And I think that's one thing I'm going to take from this year.
Well, what about you, Keith?
Well, I mean, it's almost like hunting with my kids again, hunting with Shawn. I mean, it's not that he's learning a lot of things. He did a lot of hunting, just not as much as what the average guy would do because he was on the road so much for the WWE. So many different hunts that we do together are his first with that particular kind of hunt or particular place. And, I agree with Shawn. The elk hunt was pretty special. He shot a really nice bull elk in some of the most pristine wilderness left in the lower 48, made a phenomenal shot, and he was really emotional, and it made me think back of the first elk that I had shot with my bow many years ago, and it's emotional, and then once again I take him up to my place in the Yukon to moose hunt, and not only does he shoot a bigger moose, he shoots his with a bow, I shoot mine with the muzzle loader, both great footage, but, he one-upped me on that, and basically, that's how the whole season went this year. I mean, we both shoot a lot of things. MRA this year is going to show more hunting than ever, but doggone it, unfortunately, he shoots bigger stuff almost everywhere we go. And the truth is, and because it's just me and you and no one's listening, I let him.
Well, yeah, and that's probably true.
well, as you guys, as the listeners will hear with this, and what I've noticed on the show, at least from the previous 2 seasons, there seems to be a good chemistry with you two as far as being out in the wilderness and different things. How would you explain the chemistry between you two?
Well, I think it's phenomenal, and that is one of the reasons why I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that Keith was the guy that I wanted to do a show with. just as soon as I met him. I mean, one of the most important things is, I mean, he did not make me feel an ounce of pressure. And, you know, it's one thing to enjoy hunting, and it's another thing to, you know, do it with a camera and have it filmed and things of that nature. And he, you know, made me feel comfortable and relaxed right away. He's a phenomenal teacher. He's extremely patient, and then he's also got a side of him that that is a ton of fun, and that is something that again, you know, it's one of the things that was important in my old job in the WWE, that, you know, that I had fun, you know, that it was enjoyable, that you had a good time. There was a lot of laughing involved, and that's something that he brings to the table. He does not put a ton of pressure on you. He makes every hunt fun. He always, you know, finds something amusing and positive in what we're doing, no matter what the situation is. And I think that has a ton to do with the chemistry. And believe it or not, he's a lot like, you know, Triple H, the guy that I used to hang out with in the WWE all the time. And you know, you just have a sense that here's a guy that's going to stick with you through thick and thin, and that's the way Keith is. And so for me, I couldn't have found a better guy to do this with. And like we've always said, I knew right away that this is a guy that, regardless of whether we were going to be doing outdoor television together, this is the guy I was going to hunt with and hang out with for the rest of my life.
Well, from my perspective, I mean, imagine this for me. I mean, you know, my kids grew up huge wrestling fans. I grew up watching, you know, wrestling, and then obviously as my kids, you know, got me back into WWE, WWF, ultimately WWE, I was a huge DX fan. Loved Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then, you know, Triple H and Shawn. And so when I met Shawn at a trade show in Las Vegas, and he was still wrestling. In fact, we had just watched him wrestle, you know, the previous year in Kansas City, and I just walked up and introduced myself, and I was surprised to find out how he was a fan of outdoor television, an outdoorsman himself, and blah, blah, blah. And so from my perspective, you know, so here I am going on my first hunt, buffalo hunt up in North Dakota with Shawn, WWE legend Shawn Michaels. I was very intimidated. I could only imagine what he was going to be like, you know, and as it turned out, he was so doggone cool, genuine in everything that he did. And so, you know, the hardest part of the relationship was for me just to relax and be myself, as opposed to trying to impress, you know, WWE legend Shawn Michaels. And once Keith Martin, got past that part of the relationship, and we just started letting it rip as buddies, man. We just tore up, you know, the country and foreign countries and everywhere in between, having fun, I'll tell you.
Well, I want to direct this first part of this question to Keith, and Shawn, obviously, you can jump in as well. What is this MRI hunting 2013 VIP experience? What can you tell us about that?
To be a VIP, I mean, you go to MRAhunting.com. And you sign up to become a VIP. And when you're a VIP, the cool thing about that is you get all kinds of cool swag. You get a shirt, you get a band, you know, a wristband, you get a hat, you get a signed photo from Shawn and I. You get access to seasons 1 and 2. So if you don't happen to have the Outdoor Channel, or you're in a different country and you don't have access to see our shows, by being a VIP, you can watch all of season 1 and 2 on your computer, and it's awesome. And then you get a monthly newsletter. You get all kinds of updates regarding where we're going to be. We have all kinds of contests that are just open, you know, to our VIP members. We give away cool swag from our sponsors. And then if you happen to go to an appearance, and Shawn and I've got several of those coming up, and again, it's an MRA appearance. This doesn't count for any Shawn Michaels big shot WWE stuff that he might do at Access or something like that. But if it's a Shawn and Keith MRA appearance, you get front of the line privileges. So it's a pretty cool thing.
Nice. Shawn, actually, there was something exclusive MRI that came out recently, I guess within the past couple of months since last hunting season, the Showstopper. What can you tell us about this particular air rifle?
Well, that's from one of our sponsors, Gamo Outdoors, Gamo Air Rifles, and they asked if we'd be interested in doing our own MRA version showstopper air rifle, and of course, we jumped on it, and obviously they are not like your your standard air rifles. I mean, these are adult precision air rifles. They are very strong. I mean, they can take down any amount of small game you want, but even if you want to take down a pig, the Gamo air rifle is unlike any other air rifle out there. And as I say, they've just been phenomenal sponsors. It's very important to us to try to, get more people involved in the outdoors and understand, that is sort of becoming a thing of the past, with all the machines and things of that nature taking over people's lives. They sort of, forsaken, getting out in the wonderful creation that we've been given. And so air rifles is a great way to get people started. And, a lot of people are interested. They don't know how to get started. They've never shot a gun before, and they've never been out hunting. And the Gamo air rifle is a way to help people do that. I mean, obviously, it can be pretty intimidating for someone who's never shot a rifle before, and then obviously you've had no training and then no safety training. You don't want to be giving some dude just a big old 308 to go out there and, for his first time. And so, we certainly felt that the Gamo air rifle, above and beyond being, the absolute best air rifle out there, was a great way to help get people started and get them introduced to the outdoors and, the shooting fun that you can have with that.
And I can tell you something really that we're going to do fun with that. In fact, the Showstopper air rifle is going to have its launch date coinciding with our show starting back on July 2. So on our website, MRAhunting.com, to have some fun with this, we're going to do something really, really cool. We're going to do a Come to WrestleMania with Shawn and Keith promotion with the air rifle. We're basically we're going to get a couple tickets to somebody that buys the air rifle. They get in a drawing, a contest, and then they'll get to come and they'll have a personal meet and greet with Shawn. He's not obviously going to sit with them at WrestleMania because he's usually busy during that, but a personal meet and greet. And tickets there. They'll have to get their own transportation to and from there in the whole 9 yards, but we're definitely going to get them to the event, part of trying to promote that air rifle. And again, like Shawn says, get people interested in the outdoors and the shooting and that maybe never have been, been involved in that before. So your listeners need to check out and continue to check out MRAhunting.com, and that will all unveil itself here very quickly.
Well, obviously, Keith, when I was doing my background research for the show, I saw your kids are very into hunting. Shawn, are your kids at that age where they want to learn or get into hunting or learn about it, or is that no go for them?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, they, my son has been on the show a couple times. Our daughter's been on shooting the Gamo air rifle. But my son took his first deer, it's been, 3 years ago now, and strangely enough, it was on the show. I mean, he took a beautiful, 13-point buck up in the Midwest, and took a pig that we also filmed for the show on our place down here a couple of years ago. And my daughter's been out once with me. We have not filmed that because she's still, she's still getting started. But no, we are an all-inclusive outdoor family. My wife hunts, our kids hunt, and so we've got a ranch here in Texas that we have to manage and work. So if I'm out doing food plots and things of that nature, they've got to help. So it is something that is a part of our very real life. and something that we plan to share with our kids for a long, long time, and it has just been an absolute joy, having them be a part of it.
Well, the show overall has been nominated for several Golden Moose Awards. Actually won one in 2011 for your Wolf episode. What is a Golden Moose Award?
Well, Pete, I'll let you go ahead and sort of give all the background on that if you want.
Yeah, outdoor industry gives away what they call the Golden Moose, and it's for, much like you would get an Oscar, the different categories. It might be best show host, best conservation piece, best big game, best turkey, whatever. We've been nominated many times, including best show and best show host, which who would nominate Shawn Michaels as best anything, but we were very proud to win the Golden Moose for the best conservation show for the episode we did on the wolves, trying very hard to inform, the outdoor sportsmen, enthusiasts, just people that love to look and watch at wildlife and be with Mother Nature on the problems that the lower 48 states were having because of the reintroduction of the gray wolf. We brought a lot of facts and figures, rocked a whole bunch of people's worlds, including some hunters that never really thought about it the way we presented it. At the end of the day, it was very well received, high acclaim for how the thing was put together, the facts behind it, the production, the whole 9 yards, and we won the Golden Moose Award. Shortly after that, it even had an impact at the congressional level because wolves were delisted from the Endangered Species Act in 6 states. And just recently, Shawn and I had the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C., sat down with 3 sitting U.S. senators and 20 sitting U.S. congressmen as they were trying to make the decision whether we were going to get wolves delisted in all lower 48 states, and by golly, we came home, and within a week, that's exactly what happened. So the sequel to that moose story, and probably more important than the Golden Moose Award itself, is the impact that we were able to have, changing minds, changing policies, and ultimately changing laws. So to the benefit of all sportsmen in this country. So we're very proud of that.
Yeah, and obviously we have to give BigGameForever.org just a ton of credit for that. They are relentless. They work so hard with us on the wolf issue and a number of other conservation issues out there, especially out west. And obviously, a huge thank you to Ryan Benson from Big Game Forever, who helps us out with that a great deal.
Yeah, no kidding. And Shawn mentioned that BigGameForever.org. Your listeners ought to go check that out and at least see what they have. I think they've got some stuff on there. I think they're doing some sort of a promotion where, Shawn, didn't you get them a world championship belt signed by 10 former WWE world champions?
Yes, sir. Yep. I know they'll be doing that sometime soon. So, yeah, that's something you might want to check out as well. And
what was that site again?
BigGameForever.org.
Okay, that way we can put a link right next to yours for sure. But was this something that you were looking to do to educate people with the show besides going out and have a good time showing proper hunting?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's, there are just so many misconceptions out there about hunting in general. And, it's funny. I mean, I was raised in the state of Texas, and nobody even thinks twice about hunting here. It's a way of life. And, when we first started doing the show, Keith, mentioned to me that, hey, there's going to be a lot of backlash for you, something you might want to prepare yourself for. And it didn't really register with me at all because it's something that I've been raised around. But sure enough, it did happen. And so, yeah, I mean, we were going, certainly, we wanted to be informative in our show, but I was not aware of just how much misinformation is out there, around hunting, around conservation. All of those different things. And I'll be honest, I mean, that's become something that's very important as we want to make sure that we do our best not to tilt the scales one way or another. We like to think it's pretty obvious where we stand on issues, but at the same time, we just want to put the facts out there and let people decide for themselves. But yeah, I mean, definitely, there are a lot of forsaken the outdoors because the life's gotten a little busy, and we want to make sure that we give them as much information as possible so that they can make a decision on their own.
That is awesome. Before I end up letting you guys go, I do have one wrestling question for Shawn. And obviously people know, we don't have to beat around the bush about your history, ask the same old questions again. But with your second half of your career there, people know with the change you made with religion and everything else, PG programming just because trying to be not over the top and everything else that you saw during the Attitude Era.
Okay, yeah, you cut out a little bit, so I didn't hear the question. Can you ask that again for me?
Yeah, sure. I was asking if, because of you trying to not be over the top like it was during the Attitude Era, you maybe helped guidance with the second half of your career to towards the PG element of wrestling.
Well, I certainly don't know that I had any, influence on that decision. I mean, that was a decision. All those much bigger corporate decisions are made by the WWE. I know I personally just, I simply wanted to portray my life more as it really was. I just, I had to keep a little bit of, the HBK character that, people were used to, but I certainly wanted to do my best to integrate more of, the person that I really was. And you oftentimes are going to run into people not liking that, and that's certainly understandable. But for me, I'm better at my job if I'm doing what I'm comfortable doing. I don't know or consider myself to be a phenomenal actor. I'm just better off portraying those things that naturally come from who I really am. And so that was all I really tried to do. I think it's more just coincidence that the WWE also in that time made the decision to go more towards the PG version of their programming, and obviously that worked for me because I didn't have to make any changes in myself. But I'm remiss and reluctant to say that I had any great influence on that. That's something that they'd be able to answer. But truthfully, I think was more of a corporate decision by people that have far more power than I did. It just happened to work out for me in that respect. But I enjoyed that second half so much. It was a great deal of joy that I got to have a second chance, and it's something I'll never forget.
Well, we got again July 2nd. Season 3 of the Shawn Michaels MacMillan River Adventures coming out on Outdoor Channel, Tuesdays at 11:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Anything else the fans need to know about this show besides MRAHunting.com?
No, I mean, obviously, if you get a chance to swing by the MRA Facebook page, we're going to certainly do what we can to document sort of what we're doing in 2014 that will not air for next year. But if you want to get glimpses of that, we're leaving to Africa in a couple of weeks, and a lot of the hunts that we're doing in 2014 are going to be in bits and pieces, sort of documented on the MRA Facebook page. So if you want to keep up with it, by all means, swing by there and like it. And as I say, just watch the show, enjoy it, and let us hear your feedback.
Yeah, and also, if you want to follow the most entertaining guy on Twitter, it's Keith Mark MRA. Right? Keith Mark MRA. That's who you follow on Twitter. And, of course, I tell all Shawn's little secrets that he doesn't want me to tell, so that's why I would follow me. Of course, Shawn, I don't know. Last time I looked, you were up, 2,000 or 3,000? You got quite a few. No, actually, he's got over 1.5 million, which is outstanding. But, yeah, Twitter, Facebook, Shawn Michaels, at Shawn Michaels on Twitter, and then Facebook and MRAhunting.com, and we'll do our best to entertain you.
Yeah, I guess that's true. If you really want to find out what's going on, you got to follow Keith.
I'll tell you what, it's scary. Before we started with taping this interview, though, I won't say publicly what Keith had told me, but it sounds like he'd be a lot of fun to be in the woods with.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
No, listen, I've said it before. I'll say it a million times, man. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I mean, my best pal now just happens to be WWE legend Shawn Michaels. Isn't that crazy? And, so I get to hear all the WWE stories that, that he tells around the campfire, and I'm not intimidated by him anymore, which is awesome. Doesn't mean he still can't kick the shit out of me. Oh, can I say that on the radio? It doesn't mean that he can't do that. It doesn't mean that he can't do that. It's just that he's just so cool. It's just, it's just a very relaxing, fun, my goodness. It's really the best 3 years of hunting I've ever had, and we're starting season 4 filming right now. So, man, I'm on cloud 9.
Yeah, well, we do. Yeah, no, I'd never do that. We have a ton of fun, and that is, consider myself a very blessed guy to have found such a cool dude to be doing this with. We got a good crew of guys, with our videographer Josh and our producer Kim. We're just a really good crew of folks, and we have a great time doing the show. And obviously, we hope that comes across, and we hope people enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, man, thanks for having us. We appreciate it. Hi, this is Keith Mark from Shawn Michaels' MacMillan River Adventures, and you're listening to Crazy Train Radio. I said chill, up and down there, fine, but just a sexy boy. I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. Hi, this is Keith Mark from Shawn Michaels' MacMillan River Adventures, and you're listening to Crazy Train Radio. I said chill, up and down there, fine, but just a sexy boy. I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy.
Hey, this is Shawn Michaels, and you are listening to Crazy Train Radio.